J-Lo versus Holly?
No, we don't want to go there.
Steven Corredo, co-art of Sports, the one and only, the Golden Boy. Good to see you, man. Rocha versus Santillán. It's a good fight, man.
Yeah,
a good fight that kind of no one saw coming, I feel like, because of the dueling promoters and stuff. But you're doing what you said, right? You got to work with other promoters to make the sport grow.
Let's do it. On this card, we're working with Samson, we're working with Bob Arum, and then we're working with Miguel Cotto. So it's, what we're preaching is what we're doing. So, we must continue to chip away. And it's not the way boxing is going to survive, but, it gives it an opportunity to the fans to watch the best fights happen, because, promoters have fighters and we have fighters, and a lot of times, because of networks and this and that, it's like, let's just come together. Let's set our egos aside and make it all work.
Speaking of that, obviously we all know, I know you've talked about it already, Showtime leaving boxing. The rumor is either Prime or DAZN. Is DAZN a real player in it? Because I hear more Amazon Prime as like the main location that PBC is going, but I feel like DAZN, now we have, 3 promoters kind of all in-house, right? But I mean, how real is the DAZN PBC partnership?
I'm not sure. I hear it's a rumor, but that's all it is. Obviously, is a rumor. But look, imagine PBC and Eddie Hearn and Golden Boy under the same roof. Obviously, it would make that much easier to make fights happen. But my only concern is that if you take a look at what Al Haymon has done, okay? If you take a look at what Al Haymon has done in the sport, he ruined the relationship with NBC. He ruined the relationship with Fox. He spent Showtime's money. He ruined. So every network he goes to, he just ruins it. So I have, because it has to be his way or no way. So I don't know how a DAZN will even entertain anything like that. So, I mean, I'm open to it and willing to work with anybody, but I just want to make sure people understand, what has been going on, with networks and why it's been happening, Somebody just told me, well, yeah, because everything that Al Haymon touches turns to bronze, not to gold. So it's a concern. But look, if DAZN or whoever wants to facilitate and have everyone under one roof, yeah, it'll be better for the sport, so we can make those fights happen.
You said, you kind of feel it's Al Haymon's the one that's taking these networks down and stuff. This year, I feel like, has been a stellar year for Showtime Boxing. Do you think it was they put on those fights to try to kind of maybe save it in the last hour, or is it maybe a sign of things to come that, okay, we're going to kind of keep the best fighting the best the way that Showtime has been kind of doing this year?
Well, you got to take a look at the economics of it. You got to take a look at those big fights taking place on pay-per-view, solely on pay-per-view. I mean, what Showtime has had, maybe Al Haymon gave Steven Espinoza a couple of good fights on Showtime, but nothing to wow the executives, nothing to renew the contracts, and it's an issue. It's been a problem. It's been an issue. What happened to NBC? What happened to Fox? What happened to Showtime? Al Haymon happened.
Lastly, man, I know you and Terence were kind of going back and forth. You as a fighter, you were saying fighters should get representation, and he said that as a fighter, he wants to be at the table. Talked to Bernard about it. He basically said it's more of a matter as a fighter, you got to be training, eating right, kind of that stuff. Isn't it kind of difficult in this business to find people you could trust, though, to find people kind of in your best interest that you can trust at the table? I mean, as a fighter, don't you want to be at the table to kind of see what's going on?
Well, look, I mean, it is difficult, but there are people out there. There are people out there who handle business. There are people out there who know how to deal with networks, how to deal with negotiating, in the table, for your best interest. But what I was referring to is the fighter has a short window of opportunity. A short window of opportunity. Get yourself a competent, smart team. Get yourself a competent, smart team that you trust, that you can delegate to talk for you, to negotiate for you. And you focus on your training. You focus in the gym. You focus on the job at hand, because your window is so small. Life goes by so fast, man. And so, that's why you have, promoters. That's why you have a manager. You have to pick the right people in order to take care of business for you outside the ring.
And lastly, Ryan Garcia coming back December.
And just to touch on that again, I've been a fighter. I've tried to be in the same negotiating table with my opponent, with a manager on their side, with my manager or promoter. Too much ego. It will never work. Oh, I deserve 60-40. No, fuck you. No, I deserve this. Da-da-da. You know how fighters are. It just doesn't work. Too many egos. That's what I was meaning. There's too many egos in one table. Delegate your team, your smart team who you trust, and you take care of business inside the ring at the gym.
Lastly, Ryan, man, returning against a tough knockout artist in Duarte. Is that a little too much, being that, the plan is for Teofimo Lopez or Devin Haney, in February? I mean, Duarte's a tough fighter. What do you expect to see out of Ryan with that fight?
I was very surprised, that he did take the fight, especially after being knocked out against Tank Davis. He's taking on a knockout artist. So, my hat off to him. I think that, Ryan Garcia is serious about becoming world champion. And first thing is first, he's got to face Oscar Duarte, who has heavy hands, who is out here to win. He's motivated. He's ready for anything that Ryan brings to the table. So, I commend him for that. I think that, if Ryan wins and beats Oscar Duarte, then obviously, we start talking about Teofimo. We start talking about Haney or Progress. We start talking about the world champions at 140 pounds.
Rolly, right? Rolly's at that weight class. That'd be a good promotion, Rolly.
I'm not sure exactly what Rolly's is going to do. I keep hearing a rumor that he's going to retire. So I'm really not sure. I keep hearing that rumor for some strange reason, but he is, I believe, on medical leave or something like that. But I heard some rumors that that he's not even gonna fight again. So I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, if Rollies were to fight again, a fight with Ryan would be incredible.
Right, for sure. Promotion would be great. Oscar, appreciate your time as always, sir. Thank you, brother.